I'm Les Kincaid, the host of the television show Wines Du Jour. You know, we've been doing the show every Thursday, actually it'll be 12 years in September. And what happens? We've decided to do something to increase what we're doing and not only give you information each week about food and wine, but also to introduce you to restaurants around the country that maybe you don't know about. We simply are going to call this show Tableside Du Jour. You know, recently we went down to one of my favorite areas, and I've talked about this on the air for quite a while, Baja California. More specifically, we were in Ensenda, and just east of Ensenda, a few miles, is an area about 65 square miles called Guadalupe Valley. Guadalupe Valley has, as we didn't know until a couple years ago, 81 wineries. You ever heard of Mexican wine? Well, you're going to find out because they're now producing some pretty good wines and they're importing them to the United States, slow but sure. While we were there, we discovered a restaurant. This restaurant is absolutely wonderful, it's very unique, and it sits just south of Guadalupe Valley. Cuatro Cuatros?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Okay. This way, guys. The restaurant is called Cuatro Cuatros. It's a very unique restaurant, not only by name, but the way it sits. It's actually, and I know this is going to sound crazy because I've never seen it before, it's actually a tent. Now this is a first-class tent, and inside this tent is a beautiful restaurant. We actually visited the owner of the restaurant, and we tasted some of the food, and we produced Tableside Du Jour #1. That's what you're about to see, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome to Tableside Du Jour. We are on the road from Las Vegas area all the way down to my favorite place to visit, Baja California. More specifically, Rosarita Beach is one of my favorites, and down the highway a few miles is Ensenda. And when you get to Ensenda, I've got a surprise for you, and I hope you get to Ensenda soon. The surprise is, when you get to Ensenda, you got to turn east. You can't turn west, you're in the Pacific Ocean. So you have to turn east, and you're going to find a place called Cuatro Cuatros. This is an unbelievable development, but more importantly, it's an outstanding restaurant that you would not believe. And some of the other things that Cuatro Cuatros has is some rooms available. If you want to be quiet, you don't want television, radio, all that sort of thing, unbelievable. The rooms are gorgeous. They have showers and toilets and so on. It's no, this is not a building per se. I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's tents. It's a gorgeous place to come. They even furnish you bicycles. And if you like to climb mountains, they've got them right here. It's not a problem. And if you want the most sexy dinner for 2, they have a view that overlooks the Pacific Ocean and a table that is just for 2 people. They bring the food to you. Or if there's more than 2, you might have a friends, 2 couples want to have dinner together. They have that available too. It's just a wonderful, very unique thing. Well, we have found the gentleman that owns all this and has this vision. Geraldo Torrent is his name, and I have to tell you, he is very knowledgeable. He's an agronomist, actually, that has decided to become a developer. And so we're going to talk to him. He's invited us to come to his restaurant, and here he is. Thank you very much for giving us the hospitality of coming here and enjoying your restaurant and this facility. It's very, very nice.
Thank you, Les. No,
Good. Tell us a little bit about your vision. What do you have in a plan? I know you have a master plan. Tell us just kind of an overview of what that's all about.
Okay, the thing we're trying to do is combine the ocean with the vineyards and making some wine, because this is Ensenda has the most extensive area of Mexico in producing wines.
Right.
So there's almost 3. So Ensenda is one of the biggest. So we try to combine the Pacific, I mean the ocean views, with the winemaking, because Valle de Guadalupe has that tradition of making wine. So in that combination, you can find some development. So you can have your house in here, and then you can have restaurants, winemaking, olive oil. So you can be surrounding very close to the city.
This sounds wonderful. Now, this restaurant that we're in, Cuatro Cuatros is the name of it, and that just means 44, I guess, huh? Cuatro Cuatros? Anyway, the restaurant is pretty unique. The menu is unique. All their meals are here. Breakfast is here, lunch is here, dinner is here, and they can ride the bikes, and they can do hiking, and they can just lay back and relax. It's very nice. The food now, I want to tell you a little bit about that. She's putting together a really nice appetizer, and the appetizer is with fresh oysters. Now, that doesn't sound good to some people until you realize that you're in Baja California, and some of the best seafood is in this area here. In fact, you may not know this, but not too far from where we're sitting, some of the finest lobsters in all of the world. We're not talking about Maine and being in the United States. We're in Mexico. We're talking about some of the finest seafood and lobster in the world is harvested right out here. They have a big farm in the Pacific Ocean, and they raise the lobsters that are just succulent and delicious. This whole area in Ensenada and Rosarito Beach is known for lobster. Any way you can think, it's available. That's a good thing. We've got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about appetizer number 1, which is the oysters that I mentioned. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on Tableside Du Jour right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Tableside Du Jour. We're having a good time here at Cuatro Cuatros. Remember that name. I know it sounds like I'm stuttering, but it really isn't. Cuatro Cuatros. And that is the name of the restaurant and a development, and it's also the name of a wine, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. They grow the grapes here. It's all estate grown. They grow the grapes here. They make the wines from several different varietals. One of them would be Cabernet Sauvignon. Another one might be Sauvignon Blanc. Another one might be Tempranillo. There's several different ones, and they make about 1,000 cases a year. So they're not real big, but they're really, really, really good. So what we're going to have here is we have Chef Donna is going to bring us an appetizer with the fresh oysters that I mentioned, so you can get a chance to look at what the guests would receive if they order that on the menu. You see the dill fronds around it. She's got a nice little combination of spices and herbs, and the oysters, I can tell you, are ice cold. That means they take good care of them. And that also means they come from not too far from here, so they're as fresh as they can possibly be. Is this one of your favorites that you like?
Yes.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, a lot of people are a little bit skittish about fresh oysters, but I have to tell you folks, don't make a mistake, or I say, don't allow yourself to make the mistake of not having it. You need to try it. It's really very good. Fresh oysters. Now you can see the size of these. These come from this particular area, do they not?
Right.
Now you know that there are a number of oysters grown all over the United States, some in the Northeast, some in the Northwest, but down here in Mexico, these are the oysters they like the best because the flavor of the Pacific Ocean and the terroir, because the weather and so on and so forth, make these taste really, really good. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your project. You have places for people to stay. You have like, how many rooms? 12?
Oh, there's 14 rooms.
14 rooms, okay.
And we're going to build 4 suites.
Four suites.
In coming 5 months.
In 5 months. Okay, and then you're talking about doing a hotel too? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the project has is going to have three hotels. One concept is cabañas, which is going to be just 18 cabañas in total.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be 30 rooms for a petite hotel, a boutique hotel, and there's going to be a family hotel, maybe 150.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Now, who helped you put this together? Do you have a company, or is this 100% your own idea and you drew the paintings?
No, well, no. We have partners. I mean, my family, another family that lives in Mexico City. I mean, we are working together for the last 20 years. So my father and his father was the founder of this company, and we made developments in Mexico City and
in other areas. This is one that's kind of a big deal in your heart to do. This is a vision that you've had for a long time, and is starting to come true a little bit at a time. You planted the grapes about 5 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, the first grapes were planted 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
They were Cabernet and Merlot.
Cabernet and Merlot. That's good. I mean, you have to understand, folks, in Mexico, especially in Baja California, and I mentioned this before, but there are over 80 wineries in the Guadalupe Valley area, and that's a lot. And most people don't even know that there's one in Mexico. So that's a surprise to a lot of people, and more so is when you come down to Baja and go to a restaurant and they have Mexican wines on the wine list and you order one of those, you're going to be very surprised as to how tasty they are. Now, some of those 80-something wineries are actually importing wine into the United States, but not too many. And there's a reason for that. The wineries here are really what you would call artisanal. They want to stay fairly small and produce excellent wines rather than see how many bottles they can put wine in. So the quality is very high here. And just because it's Mexico doesn't mean that the bell has something to do with hot sauce and so on. That's not what Mexican food is all about. I need to tell you that. And I have to tell you also that in Baja California, with the Pacific Ocean all along one side of it, there's an awful lot of outstanding fish and seafood available. Cuatro Cuatros has that on their menu, and you can also call here and make reservations and so on. We'll tell you how to do that a little bit later. And we're about to find out a little bit about the entree that is the most popular here at the restaurant. We're going to do that from the chef, and that's Donna Ortega. Donna, could you bring it in and set it down for us, and come on over and have a seat and let's talk for a little while. Take a look at this, folks. This is pasta, and this is roasted quail. I can't wait to taste it. It's not only the favorite of other people, but I kind of like it myself. Donna, thank you very much for allowing us to share some of your food this evening and coming over and spend a little bit of time with us.
Thank you for coming.
You bet. Let me ask you a question about this. Is it difficult to put this together? You have to do the quail. Do you just grill it by itself? You put it in the oven? How do you prepare it back in the kitchen?
First, we seal on.
Well, you've got the dill fronds, or the dill fronds, I'm sorry.
No, they do come with the oysters.
Yeah, okay. So we have the quail, and after you've cooked it, you've placed it around the outside of some pasta with some pesto on it.
Yeah, it's basil pesto.
Basil pesto. And of course, everybody knows basil pesto is very easy to make. It takes just a few ingredients. Let me tell you what it is. You might start out with maybe 2 cups of fresh basil. Put it into your food processor. Take maybe a couple tablespoons of toasted nuts. We're talking panoles, as they say in Italy. Pine nuts, we call them here in America and in Mexico. And then also a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and some cheese, normally Parmesan cheese. Put that together, turn on the processor, pour a little extra virgin olive oil in while it's in there until it gets the texture that you like. Turn it off, and you've got it. You don't have to cook it. You can put it right on hot pasta, and boy, is it tasty. Then when you have the pleasure of tasting a little bit of a squab next to it, or a little bit of quail, it is really, really good. Just one of your favorite dishes too?
Yeah, it's my favorite dish, and the pesto is amazing.
You love the pesto?
I love the pesto, and we put it some Parmesan fresh.
Oh, okay, that's good. I like that. It's a nice touch. Well, Cuatro Cuatros is an excellent restaurant. You need to check it out. If you come to Ensenada, when you get, like I said earlier, when you get down to Ensenada, turn left and come on over to Cuatro Cuatros. Ask anybody. Everybody that loves food knows this restaurant, so you won't have any trouble finding where it's located. And then I'm going to ask Chef Donna if she would be kind enough to give us the website address so you can check it out anywhere in the world. Okay, what would that be? www. What?
It's Cabanas, CABANAS, Cuatros.mx.
Easy enough. Cabañas, Cuatro Cuatros, that's single cuatro, plural cuatros, .mx. We're in Mexico, so that's where it is instead of .com. It's that simple. Food is great. People in the kitchen are nice and clean. They love what they're doing. They've got a passion for food. School, after school, in the kitchen, she's number one. And I have to tell you also, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about dessert, and we'll get Mr. Turn here to talk about that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Tableside Du Jour. We're at one of the best kept secrets in all of Baja California, Cuatro Cuatros restaurant, just east of Ensenada. The address is in Ensenada, but it's just a little bit east of the main highway that goes through Ensenada. You need to check this out. In fact, what we've done is asked Chef Donna if she would prepare her favorite and most popular dessert. Just to give you an idea, so far we've had the fresh oysters, then we had the beautiful pesto pasta along with some roasted quail. Now we're going to have a little bit of dessert. And she says, look, we have two that are very popular, so she's going to bring them both in to us so we can take a look at it. Chef Donna? Ooh, all right. So what we have here is a little lava cake. Who doesn't like lava cake? Anybody that loves chocolate is in love with lava cake. And a little bit of French vanilla ice cream is not a bad thing either. Or you can get a little bit of cheese and fruit in a little tart and have a little ice cream with that. That's not too bad. Are these some of your favorites, or do you make them do something special for you when you come to have dinner here?
No, that's my favorite order.
This is your favorite. Well, I don't blame you. This is a good one. I want to ask you one final question. Is it a secret, or it's just so new that people don't know where you are? I have to tell you that some people said, oh, when you go out there, you're going to love it. And when we came out here, I have to tell you, we were very surprised. We do love it. But we came across two giant boats. They're not in the water, they're sitting up on stilts. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in fact, those two boats are the last wooden boats in Mexico that used to be in the water for fishing. The one is for shrimp fishing, and they came all the way from Rocky Point in Sonora, all the way through San Felipe, and then by car, by truck to here. So we like the frame, we like the woodwork, so we just conserve it. There's no more wooden boats in Mexico.
No kidding. Well, I can tell you, you've got some plans for both of those boats. One of them, you want to make a wine tasting room out of it, or tell us what you've got planned.
If you can do it, we were very glad to invite you to do the wine tasting over there. So,
okay, that sounds like a good deal.
So next time you can, you will be the first to do a wine tasting up of the boat.
Ah, man, that sounds like fun. When you come and see them live, they're much larger than they look in pictures. You stand next to it and you're just gawking at the size of them. And you think they were in the water for years, and now they're sitting here on Cuatro Cuatros. That is just an unbelievable thing. I want to thank you very much for watching tonight. We've had a great time here at Cuatro Cuatros, and it's a place for you to check out. Let me give you the website again. You can go, they have two. One is cuatrocuatros.mx. The other one is Cabana Cuatro Cuatros MX. If you want to see what it's going to take to get to stay here, and don't think you can call on Wednesday or email on Wednesday and spend the weekend there. It doesn't work that way. They're too booked. You need to go ahead of time and see what's available, and then if you can work your schedule into it, you can do it, and I recommend you try it. cuatrocuatros.mx. Thanks again for watching here on Tableside Du Jour. We'll see you next time, right down the road. Hello.
VAsianTV, the community channel for Asian Americans in Las Vegas.